Good evening, everyone. To the graduates and your families, my distinguished colleagues, school committee members, and town officials that we were able to squeeze into the parking lot here tonight, again, welcome to the commencement exercises for Triton's class of 2020. Keeping with the theme of an atypical year, my words of wisdom this year will come to you differently. I'm going to borrow the sage and eloquent words of my wife, a college therapist who wrote a beautiful piece to both our daughter, who is also a member of the class of 2020, as well as the college students she works with each day. In the end, I just don't think I can say it any better. And so I want to share this brief excerpt from a piece titled, "The Death of Expectancy, a Letter to Our Young Adults." There's been something on my mind lately that I can't seem to shake. I've heard from you about being fearful to hope for anything good anymore. I'm hearing you prepare and steady yourself for more loss to come, declaring that if you don't get excited about the thing, then you can't be disappointed when it doesn't happen. In real time, I'm bearing witness to a loss of fervor and invincibility that rightfully belongs to you, our youth. We need your altruism. We need your indomitable sense of purpose in your eyes that see the world as yours to change. You aren't built for this, or at least you weren't before now. Without warning or permission, you have become the transitional generation between two worlds, a world before pandemic and a world after. You'll totter between this old world and a new world that you're still learning. And after the dust has settled and the losses have been quantified, I fear there may be another loss that we could not have predicted. An imperceptible death among you, our young adults, that could go unnoticed and even worse, untreated. This is the death of expectancy, the state of thinking or hoping that something, especially something pleasant, will be the case. Expectancy is everything. Expectancy affirms purpose. It holds space for good that does not yet exist. It ignites innovation. It creates connection and builds bridges. It stirs reform and summons reconciliation. It creates culture, forms bonds, gives shape and color to time, and vibrance to what could feel like a life in gray. Whatever you have lost, whatever you have watched dissolve away, and whatever is yet to disappear in the coming months, please do not allow expectancy to go too. The good thing, the exciting thing, the celebratory thing, they're coming. They're coming just as the sun ascends each day and the waters of the sea stretch towards the moon. Give weight and gravity to each loss you have experienced because they're yours, and by definition, cannot be gotten back. But when you're ready, let each one go like a wisp of smoke from a final ember and exchange it for a spark of expectancy. Gather up your strength, wrap your arms around expectancy, and drag it with you into the days to come. There's work to be done in this new day. There's learning and exploring to do, and there's purpose and meaning calling you forward. Class of 2020, the world needs you now more than ever, and I cannot wait to hear how you've changed it for the better. Congratulations.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our first honor speaker. Tyler Godfrey is this year's salutatorian. Tyler has not only been an amazing student, but he has also worked tirelessly to help improve Triton High School as a class officer. As salutatorian, Tyler's theme will be the past. You're good. The mic is live.
Hello, my fellow Tritonians. I stole that line from Mr. Brennan, who starts his announcements with that phrase. Thank you all for being here today, and I would like to start by thanking all the essential workers, especially the healthcare workers. Thank you for what you have done and continue to do during this difficult time. I also want to thank the superintendent, Mr. Forget, principal, Mr. Kelly, and our class advisors, Ms. Carroll and Ms. Staffier, for their work in making this an in-person ceremony and not a virtual graduation. I also want to give a special thanks to Mr. Brennan, who has gotten Triton superfan T-Dog, also known as Terry, to attend graduation today. Thank you all. There was a point that feels like years ago when our lives were normal. And there is another point that feels like eons ago that we started our 12-year journey that is ending today. 12 years ago, we were being put on the bus for the first time and sent off to Pine Grove, NES, or SES. Looking back, we remember the quirky things and some of the good times that we had. Pine Grove kids will remember Miss Lacey's lectures about how the milk that was at or just past the expiration date was still perfectly fine to drink. We will remember playing wall ball in the sand and the bees that always were around the old shed. Naturally, we all, and those others that played basketball at Pine Grove, will remember the rubber gym floor that luckily for current and future students is no longer rubber. Newberry kids may remember Miss Yando kissing a pig for a fundraiser. They also will remember Mrs. Ryan dressing up as a cat in the hat for Read Across America Day and singing the reading song with Mrs. Peterson. Salisbury kids will remember Sergeant Camp, where they went hiking, made s'mores, and learned some blacksmithing. They also would play football and continued to play in the winter, but on concrete, and that can get painful. In middle school, we almost, and I stress almost, came away with one less thumb than we should have, and only half the grade got to go to the beach, and I think most of the graduates know why. Going through those memories of the fun times, what have happened in classes, how we've been in school the past couple of months. And it is the one thing that Mr. Coyle didn't like about teaching seniors, as those memories would take us on trips down memory lane that he found both uninteresting and unproductive. All of those things that we remember are the little things that happened that we will look back on and laugh and wonder what the hell we were doing. Others we will look back on with fondness, and we will stay in touch with those that were there that helped make them happen. This is especially true for all of the sports teams. We have had teams make deep runs in the state tournament, with several of our classmates playing key roles. Teams like last year's softball team, the hockey team over the past 2 years, the wrestling team all 4 years of high school, the track and cross-country teams all 4 years of high school, last year's swim team, and I'm sure I'm missing some. Having success and winning is great, but what makes runs like those special are those you played with, your teammates. Through sports, and I'm sure through activities like drama and band, you will make friends that you will have forever. You just have to look at some of our classmates' fathers, Chris Beavers, Paul Cohan, and DJ Conti, who played hockey together in high school, to see that the friends you make playing sports will become lifelong friends. The people that we have gone to school with, in some cases sweat and cried with, over the past 4, 6, and 12 years, are the ones we've made memories with. COVID-19 has, unfortunately, made the class of 2020 the record holder for most snow days. However, unlike snow days, these are the days we don't want to miss. We were all cheering in December when we had 3 snow days, and then complaining in January and February when we had none. At that time, when life was still normal, a normal we won't likely get back to, I still went to the rink every day with Brad, Boover, Coho, Sully, and Niski. The basketball teams were still playing every Tuesdays and Fridays. The wrestling team was on its way to another Cal title. The track team was spending a night a week at Reggie on its way to yet another successful season. The swim and ski co-ops were still going strong. The marching band and winter percussion were preparing to win another state title, and the drama department was getting ready for its spring play. Obviously, with social distancing, wearing masks, and remote learning, we lost our senior spring, which included the loss of our last season of high school sports. Not 1 minute of the last couple of months is what we wanted it to be. We did not want to see our friends through FaceTime, Zoom calls, or sitting on lawn chairs and on tailgates 6 feet apart in parking lots. We did not want to be stuck in a house with our parents and siblings for months on end. However, that time spent with family will serve us well in the future. On the flip side, we are ready to leave home, and I bet our parents are ready for us to leave too. My mother has said that I'm being evicted in September. Through all of this, we have had to be innovative. Our innovation has come in finding ways to enjoy ourselves in this new world in which we find ourselves. Whether that fun has come from continuing to practice sports, playing video games, hiking, or playing cards and board games with our families. Although I'd much rather be kicking Mr. Colby's butt in cribbage, beating my parents has to suffice. We have found ways to create fun. That entertainment helps to keep us sane in an insane time. To conclude, I want to introduce you all to one of my former baseball coaches, Edwin Figueroa, better known as Figgy. Figgy is not someone to be described as privileged. He is a union bricklayer, a construction worker, and has been for 20 years. He has worked hard to make his living, and in doing so, he advised us to make money with your minds and not your backs, because mine hurts. Not even a little pain would stop him from doing what he loves. One just has to be at the park 20 minutes before a game to see Figgy having a great time. He would take the starting pitcher to warm up and ask him what music they wanted to hear. Often was the case, they wouldn't care, so he would tell them, "Are you sure? Because Tyler's going to pick country." It didn't matter what was playing. Figgy knew the words and would on occasion sing and dance. He kept the music going when we returned to the dugout, and at least once or twice, he turned the dugout into a mosh pit to the delight of everyone present. I tell you all about Figgy because he has made sure to enjoy the moments. He came from a challenging background and found ways to enjoy life. And today, in this challenging time, we have to find ways to enjoy the little moments. That joy can help us get through these tough times. So to my fellow graduates, work hard and enjoy your time on this planet. Thank you.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our second honor speaker. Jamie Bell is this year's valedictorian. Jamie has exemplified the characteristics we hope all of our students have, both in the classroom and as she has continuously volunteered her time to help improve our school. As valedictorian, Jamie's theme will be the future.
Good evening. While this ceremony of graduation hasn't been traditional by any standard, I would like to maintain some regularity and begin by first saying a few thank yous. To the faculty and administration who have motivated and inspired us the past 12 years, and to the parents, guardians, families, and friends who have loved and supported us our entire lives, we as a class extend many thanks. Without your continual encouragement and unfailing support, none of this would have been possible. And before I forget, any list of acknowledgements would be incomplete if I did not include my fourth grade teacher from NES, Mrs. Marianne McParland. As those of you who are also in that class might recall, she made us promise that if we ever had to give a speech or some kind of public address, that we would thank her first and foremost and accredit all of our success to her. So, Mrs. McParland, if you're watching this, I didn't forget, and I wanted to personally thank you for everything and say that I couldn't have done it without you. Seeing as we're on the topic of thank yous, I guess I should probably say something about my parents, but I digress. My point is, while this is only one example, I'm sure that everyone here today has been similarly influenced and inspired by the other teachers or faculty members we've had the privilege of knowing during our time in the Triton School District. So, on behalf of the rest of my class, I would like to say thank you to all of the educators who have truly gone above and beyond to ensure that we are fully equipped and fully prepared for whatever may come in the future. And now, to the graduates of the class of 2020, I say congratulations. You have worked tirelessly to get to this point, and while it may not be the way we envisioned it, this celebration is no less special or meaningful than any other year. I feel so honored to have known you and all of your individual complexities, and I'm grateful that despite the current circumstances, we are still able to celebrate you all here today. As the valedictorian for this year, I was tasked with speaking about the future, and so in early March, I began to brainstorm some ideas. Now, as many of you know, I don't particularly enjoy being the center of attention, and so when crafting my speech, my only hope was that it would be somewhat middle of the road, not too lengthy or technical, but not overly idealistic either. I figured I wouldn't have any trouble with that. I mean, it seems every year is just a variation on the same speech anyway. Because that's the great thing about the future, right? It's just so predictable. And then about a week after having that thought, schools were shut down, sports were canceled, the remainder of our senior year was tossed into the air, and as I stand here today, delivering the valedictory address in the Salisbury Beach parking lot, I can confidently say that I have never been more wrong. While watching previous year's speeches in preparation for today, I noticed that each graduating class has taken at least some time to complain about the hand they've been dealt, and to make sure everyone watching knows why they've had it the worst. Field trips they missed out on, teachers they didn't get along with, or sporting events they didn't win. I remember last year's seniors' biggest complaint was that they had the least amount of snow days for any class in recent history. Yeah, I think it's safe to say we got them beat. Now, it would be easy to just sit here and complain, and believe me, I think I speak for everyone when I say we've done that in abundance the past few months. And at the end of the day, no one would blame us for doing so. I mean, having the end of our senior year of high school taken away from us like that, it sucks. And I apologize to Miss Wright, as that was not the word I originally had written here, but frankly, it's the only word that truly captures the sentiment. It sucks. It does. But at the same time, I'm grateful for the unique opportunity that it's given us. Now, before you take that and run, let me clarify a bit. I'm not saying that I wish this would have happened. No one deserves this, but in the midst of all the frustration and disappointment, there are some silver linings. You just have to look a little deeper to find them. Now, I know I'm already a few minutes in, and some of you have started to tune me out, or have been tuning me out this whole time, but before you completely doze off, maybe I can regain your attention with a short anecdote. For those of you who attended the National Honor Society induction, you've already heard this story, but I'm going to say it again because I think it's a good one. Plus, you're all stuck in your cars, so if you're griping about it, I can't hear you. From the time I was little, whenever my grandmother would say goodbye to my siblings and me, she would make a point to look each of us in the eye and say, "Be a leader." And every time I would respond, "Yes, Gram," and nod my head accordingly so that she knew I had heard, but I never stopped to think about what being a leader actually meant. We all know qualities that are associated with good leaders: integrity, perseverance, selflessness. But what does being a leader actually look like in everyday life? Is it having a formal title like captain or president? Or is it something less tangible, like setting aside time to sew masks, donating to food banks, or taking part in civil protests? The answer to that question is yes. Being a true leader encompasses all of those characteristics. But most importantly, it means that you have taken the burdens of one individual on as your own in order to lighten the load for those around you. This year has certainly presented us with new challenges, but it has also presented us with new opportunities to demonstrate this kind of leadership. In the past few months alone, I have seen countless examples of this, whether it's been making videos to encourage the younger students in our district, raising awareness for important social issues, or simply finding new ways to celebrate and honor certain special occasions or traditions, and I have been completely overwhelmed and impressed by the initiative and creativity not only of the senior class, but of the Triton community as a whole. And while I certainly applaud those efforts, I believe that it is even more important that we don't forget the things we've learned from this experience once this is all over. Although it may not seem like things will ever go back to normal, I assure you they will. And when they do, it will be easy to revert back to the way we were before, to fall back into a routine, to get comfortable or even complacent with the way things are. But I challenge you, as the next generation of graduates, to not let that happen. I challenge you to carry this spirit of activism into your everyday lives. You are entering a world that is constantly changing, now more than ever, a world where there is an increasing need for strong leadership. And in this ever-changing environment, you will undoubtedly be faced with adversity, and you will be forced to make a choice. You can either back down, or you can rise to the challenge. And as I look out on this group of strong, passionate, educated young adults, I have no doubt that you'll seize the opportunity and find your own unique way to lead. Now, as I approach the conclusion of this speech, I hope you know that I'm not so arrogant or so conceited as to believe it will have some lasting impact on your lives. Despite the unprecedented circumstances and overall uniqueness of this year, I have no special message with which to leave you. I don't have any groundbreaking insight or life-altering wisdom to impart. I haven't told you anything that you didn't already know. Because at the end of the day, we're still the same people that we were before. This experience hasn't changed who we are, as much as it's given us an opportunity to see what we can do. It's allowed us to see ourselves more clearly, more honestly, and what I've seen, at least, is a group of curious, innovative, and resilient leaders who are fully equipped to face any challenge and handle any disappointment that might come their way. I know this year didn't turn out the way any of us thought it would, but that only means that we have been given a chance to make an impact far greater than any other group of graduates. So, as you leave high school and enter your adult lives, I, for one, cannot wait to see the ways in which you make your voices heard. And even if, years down the road, you don't remember exactly what I've said here today, I hope that you'll remember this. Be safe, be smart, be true to yourselves, and as always, be a leader. Thank you.
I would now like to invite Mr. Tim Alberts, Athletic Director, to the podium for the presentation of awards.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tim Alberts, and I'm the District Athletic Director at Triton. On behalf of the Triton coaches, I'd like to present the athletic awards for the class of 2020. The Outstanding Female Athlete Award goes to Emily Colby. Congratulations, I'm looking at the bag right there for you. A round of applause for Emily Colby. The Outstanding Male Athlete Award goes to Tyler Godfrey. Congratulations, Tyler. Bag right there for you. And finally, the Scholar Athlete Award goes to Jamie Bell. Congratulations, Jamie. It's a bag for you.
Nope, Jamie, just the first one.
Just the first one, okay.
Both of them, okay.
Thank you, and best wishes to everyone in the class of 2020. And now I'd like to introduce Miss Carroll and Miss Staffier for the Academic Senior Awards. Thank you.
Calling you short?
We're just short.
As class advisors, we are proud to present the following awards to members of the class 2020. Recipients, please come forward when you are recognized.
This year's contributed to most to class award goes to Sophia Dixon.
This year's contributed most to the school award goes to Sam Orender.
I lost my ear.
You go, Sam.
Right over there to the left. Yep. Congratulations.
You have one more.
This year's Outstanding Senior Award goes to Paige Valpone. Right there, Paige. Congratulations.
Good job, girlie.
Okay.
At this time, I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Kimberly A. Rock, Executive Vice President of the Institution for Savings Bank. Not only does the Institution for Savings provide generous local scholarships to local students, they also sponsor important financial literacy events for area schools through the Credit for Life Fair, and have supported Triton in a myriad of ways. Thank you to the Institution for Savings for the opportunities provided to our students and to the Triton community. Please everyone welcome Ms. Kim Rock.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to all of you. On behalf of the Institution for Savings, I want to thank each of you who applied for our scholarship, and I wish you all the best in the next chapter of your life. I know this has been tough for many of you, and I was really hoping that you would have a traditional graduation, which you truly deserve, but this is pretty amazing. I know this will be a special night, and one that you will always remember. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be, don't let this time of uncertainty define who you are or who you'll become. Each of you have a great future ahead of you, and the community needs you to respond positively. Your leadership is vital to our prosperity. I am confident you will all succeed. This is the first year our scholarship became a regional scholarship in the amount of $20,000. It will be awarded to only 6 seniors in a pool of applicants from 11 high schools within the bank's branch network. There were over 300 applicants this year. I am thrilled that our scholarship committee chose a student from Triton Regional High School. This year's recipient is an exceptional young lady who we really got to know from her extraordinary essays. And of the 300 applicants, she was the committee's top choice. This young lady will major in biomedical sciences and aspires to be a genetic counselor. We can only hope that she comes back to our local community after college, because she will have a positive impact on the lives of many. It is an honor for me to announce the recipient of this year's Institution for Savings $20,000 scholarship is Jamison Bell.
I would now like to ask the officers of the class of 2020 to join me on stage for the presentation of the class gift. Jonah Bird, Tyler Godfrey, Eve Pecos, Faye Pecos, Maddie Finkst, and Paige Valpone, please come to the stage.
Hi guys. The class of 2020 has had a commitment to encourage more sustainable practices within our school. With the help of Student Council, the Environmental Club, shout out Mr. Horsley, I don't know where you are. Yeah, there he is. Okay. The Athletic Department and a generous grant from the Mass Clean Water Trust, we have purchased 4 water bottle fill stations that will be placed throughout the school. We hope this helps to reduce our overall consumption of single-use plastics. Thanks.
On behalf of Triton High School, I'm pleased to accept this gift from the class of 2020.
As the class officers, we wanted to take a moment to thank many of the staff members that have helped to make our experience memorable. We have seen how much work goes into planning and supporting all of our class events and making sure we have great experiences. We would like to thank the high school secretaries, Miss Carroll, Miss Scarfo, and Miss P, the guidance staff, cafeteria staff, maintenance, all of our teachers, the school administration, and our parents, who this is just as much as an accomplishment for them as it is for us. Thank you to all the staff and town officials who have worked hard to support the seniors in a variety of ways over the last month. Lastly, we would especially like to thank our class advisors, Miss Teresa Carroll and Miss Courtney Staffier. Their constant effort and support to our class has made our experience
Wonderful.
At this time, with the blessing of Narissa Whalen, the chairperson of the school committee, we will award diplomas to the class of 2020. The presentation of diplomas and announcement of scholarships and awards will be completed by Ms. Teresa Carroll, Ms. Courtney Staffier, Ms. Megan Ober, Ms. Catherine Daw, Ms. Kim Wright, Mr. Patrick Kelly, and Mr. Brian Forget. Can the class officers and any student with the last name beginning with A or B come forward now? And please come to my right side of the stage. Because we were unable to hold our annual awards assembly, students who are receiving local scholarships and school-based academic awards will have those accomplishments noted as they cross the stage.
Jameson Jean Bell.
Jamie is the valedictorian of the class of 2020, a member of NHS and FLNHS, attained the seal of biliteracy in French, is a recipient of the English 12 pin, the Mass Foreign Language Excellence in French Award, the Adams Scholarship, the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship, and the Institution for Savings Scholarship.
Tyler John Godfrey.
Tyler is the salutatorian of the class of 2020, a member of NHS and FLNHS, a recipient of the AP Calc and AP Government pins, the Adams Scholarship, the Koplik Certificate, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Triton Baseball Booster Scholarship.
Jonah J. Bird.
Jonah is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, and a recipient of the Superintendent's Certificate of Academic Excellence and the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Eve Inez Pecos.
Eve is the recipient of the Principal's Award for Outstanding Citizenship, the Leeward Foundation Scholarship, the George Mason Baseball Softball Scholarship, and the Salisbury Elementary School Staff Scholarship.
Faye Ann Pecos.
Faye is a member of FLNHS and is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Salisbury Elementary PTA Scholarship, the Salisbury Elementary School Staff Scholarship, the Newburyport Rotary Scholarship, and the Joan Peterson Community Service Award.
Madeline Lee Finks.
Maddie is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, and a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Massachusetts Elks Scholarship.
Paige Eleanor Valpone.
Paige is the recipient of the Triton Youth Lacrosse Scholarship.
Sophia Rose Agrella.
Sophia is a recipient of the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Brendan Lewis Atherton.
Brendan is a recipient of the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Sergey Tyler Avery.
Sergey is the recipient of the Woody Herman Jazz Award and the Marching Band Outstanding Senior Award.
Anissa Lysandra Baez. Brandon Colin Belezza.
Brandon is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Economics Pin.
Erin Ann Bayek.
Erin is a recipient of the Art 2 Pin.
Michael Christopher Beavers.
Michael is a recipient of the Triton Youth Lacrosse Scholarship, the Newburyport Elks Scholarship, the Massachusetts Elks Special Projects Scholarship, the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship, the Triton Lifetime Achievement Larry Francis Post Hockey Scholarship, and the Larry Fournier Memorial Scholarship.
Naomi Chenro Bell. Samuel Raymond Bell.
Sam is an honor graduate, a member of NHS and FLNHS, attained the Seal of Biliteracy in French, the AATF Excellence Award in French, the Marine Biology and TV Production Pins, the Adams Scholarship, the Bushy Scholarship, and the FLNHS Scholarship.
Jared Stephen Berardino. Hunter Troy Berland. Dylan Richard Bistany. Katie Elizabeth Bluen.
Katie is a recipient of the Ceramics 2 Pin and the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Samuel Carl Boschen. Robert Andrew Boulay, Jr.
Robert is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Maggie May Bowen.
Maggie is a recipient of the Algebra 3 Pin and the Ricky Monahan Memorial Scholarship.
At this time, can we have all graduates with the last name beginning with C please come to the stage? Julia Kathleen Boyle. Danielle Marie Bradanisi. Joseph Robert Bradanisi.
Joe is the recipient of the Pure Mediation Scholarship.
Michelle Ann Bradanisi.
Michelle is a member of NHS, FLNHS, and is the recipient of the AP French Pin.
Eric David Buchala.
Eric is an honor graduate, a member of NHS and FLNHS, attained the Seal of Biliteracy with Distinction in Spanish, the Mass Foreign Language Award of Excellence, the Adams Scholarship, the Koplik Certificate, the AP Physics, AP Spanish, and Marine Bio Pins, and is a recipient of the Emerson Scholarship and the FLNHS Scholarship.
Sarah Elizabeth Bird.
Sarah is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, and is a recipient of the Engineering Tech 2 Pin, the Adams Scholarship, the
the Bushy Scholarship, the Salisbury Democratic Town Committee Leadership Scholarship, the Swayze Fund Scholarship, and the Carmela Zappala Memorial Scholarship.
Sarah Elizabeth Burns.
Sarah is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and a Tempo Scholarship. They're just not here. Okay.
Kiefer Calawart.
Kiefer is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Psychology Pin. There we go.
Benjamin Collins Campbell.
Benjamin is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Chatham Allen Campbell.
Chatham is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Felicia Rose Cardillo.
Felicia is a member of FLNHS and the recipient of the Protection Fire Company Ladies Auxiliary Scholarship.
George Eduardo Castaneda.
George attained the seal of biliteracy in Spanish.
Chloe Atkins Chambervich.
Chloe is a recipient of the Sarah Wallace Peabody Rowley Grange Scholarship.
Jacob Anthony Chitigny. Haley Catherine Clogston.
Haley is a recipient of the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Kaya Ellie Cohen. If all the last names beginning with D and F could please come to the front. The E's would be good too. Emily Elizabeth Colby.
Emily is a member of NHS and the recipient of the Rowley Democratic Town Committee Environmental Leadership Scholarship, the Emerson Scholarship, the Ipswich Rowley Rotary Club Scholarship, and the Circle Cares Insurance Scholarship.
Gianna Rose Conti.
Gianna is a recipient of the Newburyport Elks Lodge Scholarship, the Triton Lifetime Achievement Larry Francis Post Youth Hockey Scholarship, and the Massachusetts Elks Scholarship.
Alexander Joseph Conroy. Jack Elliott Crocker.
Yeah. Cameron Mary Dacey. Emily Louise De Benedictus. Adriana Lauren Deeb.
Adriana is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, attained the Seal of Biliteracy in Spanish, the Mass Foreign Language Leadership Award, the AP Art Studio Pin, the Adams Scholarship and Koplik Certificate, Outstanding Senior in Women's Choir and Spring Musical, the National School Choral Award, and is the recipient of the Newburyport Art Association Sam Sargent Scholarship, the Jake Phillips Class of 2016 Memorial Scholarship, the Ipswich Rotary Scholarship, and the Tempo Scholarship.
Gino Oliver DeLuca. Ashley Nicole Dupre. Joseph Scott Dupre.
Great.
At this time, can all graduates with the last name beginning with G and H please make your way to the stage? Sophia Nicole Dixon.
Sophia is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, a recipient of the Calculus Pin, the Superintendent Certificate of Academic Excellence, the Adams Scholarship, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Rowley Democratic Town Committee Environmental Leadership Scholarship.
Bonnie Rose Durante. Stephen Jacob Elliott.
Stephen is the recipient of the English 12 Pin.
Cole Jonathan Earhart.
Cole is the recipient of the Political Science Pin and the Men's Choir Outstanding Senior Award and the John Flynn Production Tech Award.
Michael Lawrence Farrago.
Michael is a recipient of the College Algebra and Trig Pin and the George Mason Softball Baseball Scholarship.
Mason Charles Ferrick.
Mason is a recipient of the Florence Burns Scholarship.
Ava Nicole Ford. Vincent Christopher Forney. Jordan Marianne Frasca.
Jordan is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, and the recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Cassidy Brown Foundation Scholarship.
Linda Kathleen Freeman.
Lena is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, FLNHS, attained the Seal of Biliteracy in Spanish, and is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Viking Voyager Scholarship.
Bailey Grace Gardella.
Bailey is the recipient of the Musical Theater Medallion.
Jonathan Richard Gardner. Aiden John Gay Colleen.
Aiden is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Erin Elizabeth Gershuni. Madison Julia Kule Miley Aloha. Gillis. Oh, I forgot that part. Gillis. Mark Anthony Stanley Glickman. Andrew Ryan Goodrich. Will Matthew Gundrum. Mackenzie Karen Hamilton.
Mackenzie is a recipient of the Newburyport Elks Lodge Scholarship.
Andrew Lawrence Harding.
Drew is the recipient of the Concert Band Outstanding Senior Award.
Emily Ann Hazelton.
Emily is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Could all of the students with the last name J and K please come up to the front? Xander Ives Heckman.
Xander is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Spring Musical Outstanding Senior Award.
Emily Ann Howe. Ivy Jin Huang.
Ivy is an honor graduate, a member of NHS and FLNHS, attained the seal of biliteracy in Mandarin, and is the recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Salisbury Lions Club Scholarship.
Marcella Marley Hubbard Boucher.
Marcella is a member of FLNHS, attained the seal of biliteracy with distinction in French, the AATF Outstanding Senior Award, the Singers Outstanding Senior Award, the National Color Guard Medallion, and is the recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Massachusetts Elk Scholarship, the Bushy Scholarship, and the David Lyon Music Award.
Chloe Caitlin Hines.
Aiden Philip Jacobs.
Aiden is a recipient of the Tempo Scholarship.
Yep. At this time, all graduates with the last name beginning with L and M, please come to the stage. Caroline Elizabeth Jacobs.
Caroline is a recipient of the National Marching Medallion, the Tempo Scholarship, and the Topsfield Fair Essex Agricultural Society Scholarship.
Deborah Janeth Miranda Jimenez.
Debbie attained the Seal of Biliteracy in Spanish and is a recipient of the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Sydney Donna Johnson.
Sydney is the recipient of the Labadini Memorial Scholarship.
Cameron Michael Jolivet. Bradford Michael Killian.
Brad is a recipient of the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, the Triton Boys Hockey Booster Scholarship, the Triton Lifetime Achievement Larry Francis Post Youth Hockey Scholarship.
Mackenzie Kathleen Kimball.
Mackenzie is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Connor Michael Cohan.
Connor is the recipient of the Triton Lifetime Achievement Larry Francis Post Youth Hockey Scholarship.
Jeffrey Peter Crisco.
Jeff is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Sheridan Elizabeth LaRock. Ryan Thomas Ladding. Taylor Marie Ladamy.
Taylor is a recipient of the Sean Perkins Foundation Scholarship.
Ariana Danielle Lee. Ethan Yancey Lent. Nicholas James Lindley. Kylie Mariana Lorenzo.
Kylie is a member of FLNHS and a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Cassidy Brown Foundation Scholarship, and the Anna Jakes Hospital Aid Association Scholarship.
At this time, could all the N's and O's please come to the stage? Riley Marie Lucia.
Riley is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Salisbury Elementary School Staff Scholarship.
Joseph Mateo Luciano.
Joe is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Accounting Pin, and is the Massachusetts three-time reigning champ of the state stock market competition.
Armand Joseph Lucier.
All right. Mia Elise Mace Gonzalez. Abigail Lynn McGee.
Abby is a recipient of the Consumer Math Pin and the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Robert Alexander Magicomo. Sophia Rose Milhoit.
Sophia is the recipient of the Mass Drama Fest Outstanding Senior Award, the Drama Medallion, the Adams Scholarship, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Andrew John Mayuri. Robert James Marr, Jr. Sophia Suya McClellan. Emily Elizabeth Meddy.
Emily is the recipient of the Massachusetts Elks Vocational Scholarship.
Alexia Michelle Miller.
Alexia is the recipient of the TV Production Outstanding Senior Award.
Christopher Daniel Molina.
Christopher is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Liam Burke Murray.
Liam is a recipient of the Massachusetts Shellfish Officers Association Scholarship, the Selma K. Bardsley Memorial Scholarship, and the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Barry Peter Nagel.
Barry is the recipient of the Triton Wrestling Scholarship, the Triton Baseball Boosters Scholarship, and the Triton Viking Football Scholarship.
Kyle Ryan Nickerson. Jack Michael Niska. Everyone with the last name P, Q, and R, please come up. Kyle Everett Noonan.
Kyle is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Bridget Taylor O'Brien. Matthew John O'Neill. Samuel William Orender.
Sam is the recipient of the Sound Tech Outstanding Senior Award, the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award, and the Triton Wrestling Scholarship.
Anthony William Ostrander.
Anthony is the recipient of the Triton Wrestling Scholarship and the Joseph and Marie LePray Memorial Scholarship.
Amanda Faye Ouellette.
Amanda is the recipient of the 3D Studio Pin and the Amanda Antonio Foote Memorial Art Scholarship.
Thomas Joseph Overbra, Jr.
Dylan Edward Panaton. Kamal Vijay Patel. Kayla Marie Purley. Kaylin Elizabeth Pesaturo.
Kaylin is a recipient of the English 12 Pin, the Jazz Choir Outstanding Senior Award, the Massachusetts Elks Scholarship, and the Tempo Scholarship.
At this time, will all graduates with the last name beginning with an S please come to the stage? Erin Christie Power.
Erin is the recipient of the Foley Brothers Memorial Scholarship.
Carrie Ann Power.
Carrie is the recipient of the Photography Pin, the Triton District Memorial Scholarship, the Newbury Teachers Scholarship, and the Chip Haley Memorial Scholarship.
Samantha Gail Alice Protopappas.
Samantha is an honor graduate, a member of NHS and FLNHS, and a recipient of the Adams Scholarship.
Alyssa Lee Quam. Catherine Marlene Quigley. Taylor Elizabeth Reyes.
Taylor is a member of FLNHS and is the recipient of the Art Portfolio Pin.
Keegan Alexander Ritchie.
Keegan is an honor graduate, a member of NHS and FLNHS, and a recipient of the AP Statistics Pin, the Adams Scholarship, and the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Nicholas Aiden Ritchie.
Nicholas is an honor graduate, a member of NHS, and a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Triton Golf Scholarship.
Olivia Grace Ritchie.
Olivia is an honor graduate, a member of NHS and FLNHS, and a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Triton Lady Vikes Booster Club Soccer Scholarship.
Mason Camargo Rodriguez.
Mason attained the seal of biliteracy in Portuguese.
Kaylin Wynn Scally.
Kaylin is a recipient of the Triton District Memorial Scholarship.
Amaya Camille Schofield. Hunter Reese Scalamaro.
Hunter is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Kelly Ann Sharkey. Rachel Elizabeth Siebert. Allison Rose Silva.
Allison is an honor graduate, the recipient of the Forensics and Spanish 4 pins, the Adams Scholarship, and the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Austin Mitchell Silverstein.
Austin is a recipient of the French 4 pin, the Adams Scholarship, and the Florence Evans Bushy Scholarship.
Will all of the T's please come up to the stage? Benjamin Cornelius Smith.
Ben is a recipient of the Peer Mediation Scholarship and the Stanley Emerson Scholarship.
Dylan George Souther. Michaela May Sprigg. Zachary Robert Stack. Ariana Lisa Stevens.
Ariana is the recipient of the Digital Studio Art pin.
Joshua Daniel Stevens. Alyssa Ashley Stone.
Alyssa is a recipient of the Ceramics 1 pin and the Salisbury Lions Club Scholarship.
Will all of the U, V, W, and Y's please come up? Tyler Joseph Strank.
Tyler's the recipient of the Jazz Band and Sound Tech Outstanding Senior Awards and the Robert G. Hardy Memorial Scholarship.
Cade Walter Strickland. Jack Patrick Sullivan.
Jack is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship and the Triton Lifetime Achievement Larry Francis Post Youth Hockey Scholarship.
Charles Crickor Takesian.
Charles is a recipient of the Crimes Against Humanity Class Pin and the Triton Viking Football Scholarship.
Edward Patrick Tarmy. Anya Galina Shirley Jacqueline Teague. Jacob Dawson Thistle. Timothy Patrick Timmons.
Tim is the recipient of the Class of 2004 Scholarship.
Braden Alexander Toth.
Braden is a member of NHS, is the Fall Play Outstanding Senior, and is the recipient of the National Elks Foundation Legacy Scholarship and the USS Coral Sea Remembrance Scholarship and the Tempo Scholarship.
Lainey Elizabeth Toll.
Laney is a member of FLNHS and is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Dr. Garth Pittman Scholarship, the Margaret Cargill Memorial Scholarship, and the Roberts Memorial Scholarship.
Glory Nicole Trelfa.
Glory is a recipient of the John Philip Sousa Band Award, the Triton District Memorial Scholarship, the Tempo Scholarship, and the Matthew J. McCarthy Memorial Scholarship.
Ethan Hale Tremblay.
Ethan is the recipient of the Triton Viking Football Scholarship and the Triton Wrestling Scholarship.
Bridget Hannah Tucker.
Bridget is the recipient of the Drama Outstanding Senior Award.
Roby Ula. Andrew James Valiante.
Andrew is a recipient of the AP English Language Pin and the Adams Scholarship.
Jordan Andrew Walkie. Harrison Coyle Weston. Caitlin Elizabeth White.
Caitlin is a member of NHS and is a recipient of the Adams Scholarship, the Stanley Emerson Scholarship, and the Pine Grove Alumni PTA Scholarship.
Jesse Peck Wilkinson. Cody James Wishart. Natalie Ryan Woolridge.
I would now like to invite the officers of the class of 2020 to come back to the stage. Just spread out down. You're fine. And now, as the principal of Triton High School, by the authority granted me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Triton Regional School Committee, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the graduates of the class of 2020. Please move your tassels from right to left. It is a great honor and a distinct pleasure to present to you the graduates of the class of 2020. Let's hear it one more time for the class of 2020.